Hi everybody, this is Megan Stolen. I'm a research scientist with Hubbs-SeaWorld Research Institute in Melbourne Beach, Florida. And during this time when everybody's home so much, we thought we would produce a couple of short videos to answer some questions and introduce you to our lab if you're not familiar with us, and just talk to you and tell you that we're thinking about you and we hope everybody is staying safe. So we got a couple of questions about our marine mammal program here in Melbourne Beach. That's our main focus here in Florida. And so I'll just go through a couple of questions and answer those the best I can. The first one is, why are dolphins considered mammals? Well, that's a good question because they don't look a lot like most mammals. They don't have a lot of fur and they don't walk around on land, so they're kind of different. But they are mammals. The word mammal refers to the mammary glands, so all mammals nurse their young, produce milk, and nurse live young. So that's one reason. Another reason is it will sound strange, but dolphins actually do have hair. When they're first born, they have a few little tiny hairs right on the tip of their snout, and you can see them when they're newborn, and then they sort of go away. So they do have hair, they bear live young, and they do nurse their young, and of course they're warm-blooded animals, so that makes them, all of those features make them basically a mammal. So they are highly adapted to the aquatic environment. Some of them live in marine environments, but some of them actually live in freshwater environments. So the word marine mammal actually covers quite a few taxa. It covers dolphins, it covers polar bears, walruses, seals, sea lions, and sea otters. Okay, the next question is, do dolphins live in the same area most of the time, or do they migrate to different bodies of water? And the answer is kind of tricky. The answer is both of those. So some dolphins live their entire lives in one place. They're called resident dolphins, and we have some resident dolphins here in the Indian River Lagoon that are born here and they grow up here and they live here their whole lives. This is true of a lot of inland estuary type dolphins, bottlenose dolphins. But there are other dolphins, not just bottlenose, but other pelagic or deep water species that live offshore, so not in this coastal area, but off the coast all over the world. And those dolphins can often be migratory. So they'll move along with their prey, which is usually fish. It might also be squid. So they'll move in different directions. So off the coast of Florida, we have a few different stocks of dolphins. We have our inland stock, which is the Indian River Lagoon. We have a near shore stock, which is off the coast in the Atlantic waters. That's here year round. And then we have a migratory stock that comes down from the north, just like snowbirds, and they come down in the wintertime. And they're following the prey down to where we are. There's also a very unusual type of dolphin called an offshore dolphin, which is a different ecotype, meaning there's a lot of different adaptations that it has for deep water living. And those are bottlenose dolphins that live way off the coast of Florida. And we see them very rarely on our coast stranded. And we can usually tell by the way they look that they're an offshore type, and we get very excited because we don't see them very much. So those are the different types of dolphins that we have here in Florida. So we do have some that stay here all the time, and then we have other ones that kind of pass through. All right, the next question is, what's the most important part of responding to an injured or stranded dolphin or whale? Well, that's actually where you guys come in, because the most important part of the event is actually knowing about it and getting to the animal as fast as possible. So that's where you guys come in. If you see a stranded, injured, or sick marine mammal, you should notify the authorities right away. And here in Florida, what you want to do is call the Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission. That's 1-888-404-3922. And in California, you would call your Fish and Wildlife service out there, and they would get in touch with the nearest stranding responder. We like everybody to just call one number because it works for turtles and manatees and sea otters and dolphins and whales. So the most important thing is telling us about it. Once we hear about it, we try to get to the animal as fast as possible. That's the most important thing for us, because if it's still alive, we want to make it as comfortable as possible. We want to prevent sunburn. We want to take care of its eyes. We want to make sure that other people don't cause it problems. And really, one of the most important things to remember is not to push them back into the water, because whales and dolphins strand because they're sick or injured and they're in trouble. And so if you push them off the coast, they will usually come right back. So notifying us, letting us talk to you, taking a photo of it, texting us, all of those things are super, super important. And then once we get there, we start triage with the animal. And that's pretty basic. We keep them wet, we keep them upright, we prevent sunburn, we keep them shaded, and then we wait for a veterinarian or a transport crew to come and assess the animal. And the whole time we're doing that, we are in touch with the National Marine Fisheries Service, who regulates animals or marine mammals, cetaceans, whales, and dolphins. And so we're constantly going back and forth with them to make sure that we're doing what they want us to do. So I think that's it for your questions. Of course, you can always post on our Facebook or email us, and we'll try to answer your questions again. I hope that everybody is staying safe and practicing all of the guidelines that the CDC and the states are giving out. I know it's hard to be home. It's hard for us to not be working the way that we normally work, but we are here and we are ready to respond to whales and dolphins if they do strand during this time. So we'll be ready, and we will do everything we can to make ourselves safe and make the animals safe as well. So I just want to say thank you for tuning in, and email me, send me your questions on Facebook, and stay tuned for more videos of other scientists at Hubbs-SeaWorld Research Institute. Thanks, everybody.